Hi guys, today I'm doing another what to watch on Netflix video. This has been highly requested since I did my last one, not a year ago, but like some time ago, and I still recommend all of those things. Most of them, not all of them, are still on Netflix. They were all TV shows, so that's what this is. I have done plenty of movie favorite videos. I think I did like 2 or 3 now, and I am planning another one coming up in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. I definitely recommend go checking out my last what to watch on Netflix video if you haven't seen it, because there's tons of things I recommend, like my #1 favorite shows. These are either newer discoveries to me or things I didn't realize were on Netflix or they're new to Netflix, things like that. If you want some more TV show recommendations that are on Netflix, I did a whole video about shows that should be on Netflix. I also did a whole video about shows that were canceled too soon. So if you want to check out any other TV show, movie type videos, they will all be linked below. I thought this would be the perfect time to do this video because most of you are probably home for winter break, and if you're not out partying like how I'm not, and you're just in watching Netflix and you want to know what to watch instead of watching your favorite show for the millionth time, which is totally fine, you want some new recommendations, keep on watching. One is Supergirl, and that is a show I didn't anticipate liking. Seriously, the only reason I started watching it was I read some kind of article that said Chris Wood, one of my all-time favorite actors who was in Vampire Diaries and Containment, which is also on this list. He's my background on my phone. I love him. But he was gonna be joining the cast, and I was like, oh my god, I need to watch this just if he's in it. The first season was on Netflix, so I watched that one, and I fell in love with it. Season 2 is now like coming on now on the CW on Mondays at 8, and it's really good. They did have to take out some of the characters that were on season 1. They didn't really explain it too well, probably because they changed networks or something, and he doesn't come on until a couple episodes into season 2, but his character is amazing. His character is everything I wanted and more. It's like exactly what I anticipated from him. He's just such a good actor, and I love him, but he's not the only reason I'm watching it. Started watching it because of him, but now I'm watching it because I really genuinely enjoy it. The acting is pretty on par with like a lot of CW acting, but it's very much like a lot of other CW shows. Like if you like Vampire Diaries and stuff like that, like you're gonna like it. It's a bit more lighthearted, I'd say, than Vampire Diaries. It's more fun and bright and stuff like that. It's not as deep. It's not as gory either. It does look very corny, and parts of it is, but in a good way, like a good kind of corny. My next one is Containment, which is only 1 season as well, so that's the fast one to get through, but it's amazing. Honestly, I think I said in my last video where I talked about my favorite show, this was like my #1 favorite. And this stars Chris Wood as well, and also someone who is in Vampire Diaries, this current season that's happening right now. It's so good. Honestly, I only watched it because he was in it. Again, another show like that just was so amazing. But of course, it's canceled, so there's not gonna be a season 2, which is such a disappointment. I feel like they didn't give it enough time. I don't know. A lot of shows don't get popular until the 2nd season. I'm just bummed. Like, I wish that they had had a 2nd season because it's such a good show. They did kind of end it in a way that it's okay for like a final ending, and it has romance and it has small elements of comedy in it, but it's mostly pretty serious. It's pretty much about Atlanta, Georgia, and it getting hit with some kind of horrible virus, and they have to contain the entire city. So people, if they get home from work in time, and they're stuck outside of their homes, and people are stuck in their homes, they're just kind of stuck there, and they can't get extra food in. It was only supposed to be a weekend, but it turns into being like so much longer. It's about like some of the people who are stuck inside, and there are people who are stuck outside. I can't recommend it enough, to be honest. Even if you feel like it'd be too gory for you, the romance and stuff is like worth it. Next is something I can't believe I didn't watch sooner, and I think I mentioned it, I can't remember if I mentioned it in a video or not, but Haters Back Off, which is obviously Miranda Singh's TV show. When I heard about her show, and I was like, ooh, what's it gonna be like? Like I was so curious to know what it would be like, because it could have gone so many different ways, but honestly, I think it did so well. First of all, she's an amazing actress. I don't know how she does it, but the reason I think it's such a good show is that I do like Miranda Singh's videos. Not all of them. Some are a bit too over the line for me, but I get it. I get why it's funny. I think that even if you don't like Miranda Singh's, you'll like the show because it's toned down. If you've never even heard of Miranda Singh's, if you've never even watched her videos, you don't know anything about her, and you watch this on Netflix, you would still enjoy it. It's still something that is toned down enough that you don't have to watch the videos to understand it, but it's also very true to the videos and very authentic, so that the fans who are fans of Miranda for years now can still watch this and get that pure, authentic Miranda. And I think that that's so awesome how she did that. Just found it to be the perfect balance of good for newcomers as well as good for the original fans. And it's only like 8 episodes, I think, so it's super fast to get through. I thought it was super funny. Patrick is my favorite character if you've already watched it. He's just the best. He's so cute. I think they're doing a season 2, and I'm excited about it. Here's one which is, I don't know how to recommend this to you because it is so unbelievably corny, but it's good, and that's Drop Dead Diva. So I'm not sure how many seasons there is. I want to say like 5, maybe more, but it was on the Lifetime, and I used to watch it with my mom when it was coming on, and Honestly, I think when we watched the first episode, we were like, we're never watching this again, and then we just couldn't help it. And it's very, very corny. I mean, it's like one of those shows, it's kind of dramatic, but it's very fake. Well, let me just tell you what it's about, I guess. It's about this woman who's a model, and she's engaged to a lawyer. She gets in a car accident and dies, but when she goes to heaven, she isn't ready for heaven or hell. Like, she's not a good person or a bad person, she's just like in the middle. So they don't know what to do with her, so she hits a return key on like the office that like sends you to heaven or hell, and she comes back like into someone else's body who's like a bigger girl. It's just really interesting. So she's like readjusting to life in this other person's body, and she is kind of like ditzy, but this person's body she's in is a lawyer who's super, super smart, and she gets those smarts when she's in this body, and she has to kind of readjust to live this woman's life. So her fiance is mourning, but now she's working at an office with him and in this new body, and like he can't tell him. It's just so, it's like, it sounds, I can't even believe I'm describing this, but it's kind of so bad that it's good. It has enough of a plot and a storyline that you want to follow it, but it's also lighthearted enough that you're not gonna like have heart palpitations watching it, if that makes sense. And then of course the next one is the Gilmore Girls revival. If you haven't watched it already, then what are you even doing? My obsession with Gilmore Girls runs deep, and it's honestly, I know so many people are so excited about the revival. I feel like so many people discovered Gilmore Girls on Netflix, which is fine. I have such an like authentic, I hate sounding like one of those people, but I do. I have such an authentic love for Gilmore Girls, because when it came out on the CW, that's when I was in love with it. I was in love with Luke, a 30-something-year-old man, when I was like 10 years old. I love that show, like to my core. That's like where my addiction for coffee comes from. When I was in 7th grade, I believe I did a computer project. You have to come up with a business idea, right? Like put all that in a PowerPoint. I picked the Dragonfly in. I was all about that show. I even did this binder before IMDb was like a thing, when we had one computer in the house in the basement that like everyone used, that you couldn't be on the phone while you used the internet. I printed out pictures of all the characters, wrote a little synopsis of them and their relationships. I literally made an IMDb binder of Gilmore Girls. I'm not even joking you, and if I had it, I would show you, but I'm probably pretty sure like during my embarrassing high school stage, I was like, let me throw out everything embarrassing. But that is where my Gilmore Girls obsession comes from. So when this revival was coming out, I was very nervous about it, to be honest. I was excited, obviously, especially since everyone came back almost. I was happy with it for sure. I think it was lots of it was very true to the original, and I liked a lot of things they brought back, and like a lot of the town stuff. And oh my god, Luke's speech. Oh my god, if you died over Luke's speech, that was at one point where I was like full on tears. And then also Logan I really liked. I just always liked Logan, even though he's so terrible. But there's certain parts that I didn't love. I feel like the chemistry was there, the dialogue, like a lot of it was there, obviously because they brought back the original creator and writer and stuff like that. And I think that was such a good idea. I don't think they could have made it without doing that. I don't like Rory, and I never really did. I was always more of like a Lorelai Luke person. I could care less really about Rory and like who she ended up with. I'm sorry, but I just didn't like her. I always found her to be very snobby. I don't like her even more now based on the revival. And there was like all of those, that like the whole musical thing, I didn't understand that. The whole hiking thing, didn't understand that. I think it's worth watching for sure, especially if you're a fan of the original. But if you didn't watch the original, then watch that first and then watch this. But they're clearly gonna do a season 2. I'm sure of it. If they don't, that'd just be so annoying. Watch it if you have watched the original. I definitely think it's like worth your time. Like, you're not gonna feel like you shouldn't have watched it, if that makes sense. Oh, Baby Daddy. I didn't mention this somehow in my last video. I think I had just watched Young and Hungry. I hadn't watched Baby Daddy yet when I made that video. Now Baby Daddy is one of my favorite shows. Honestly, I love Ben. He's like the main character. He's my favorite. I love his mother. She played Barbara Jean on Reba, and you guys know I love Reba, and she's hilarious. Melissa Peterman, she's so funny. It's pretty much about a guy who sleeps with this girl for like a one-night stand, and she has a baby, and she just drops it off at his door and is like, peace, I'm leaving this baby with you. And so he has to take care of the baby, and he lives with his brother, who's like a ranger, New York Ranger, and his friend from school or something, and his mom like lives real close and is always there, and it's really great. And they run into a friend from high school. Like, I just love it, and it does kind of have that romance, kind of like a Friends, you know, subtle things going on. I genuinely think it's amazing. The characters are amazing. And if you want a very nice sitcom show to just watch, you don't want something that's super intense, you know, and that kind of thing, definitely watch watch it. Okay, this one is one I didn't finish, so this is a show that I don't even think I watched every episode of. I may have, but the last season was so bad that I just kind of stopped watching. That's Army Wives. It was also a Lifetime show. I find it to just be so, oh my god, like I cry at every episode. It's very overdramatic and it's very fake that all these crazy things are happening to the same group of people, but it's super, super good and I just find it super interesting. I'm not from that lifestyle, so I don't really know much about it, and I'm sure it's not super accurate, but I just find it super interesting and I really love that show. And if you want a show that's gonna make you cry, it's very like a woman's show, definitely check it out. Oh, next is one that's probably for the more older audiences, I'm gonna say, and that's Californication. Now, the main character in Californication I love. He's such a good actor. The character is really funny. A lot of the characters are really funny, and I do really enjoy the show, but there were certain episodes that I was very uninterested in when I watched it. It's kind of more adult and mature audiences, for sure. And lots of smoking, drinking, sex, naked people, that kind of thing. I'd recommend it, like, if you want to just try a new show. It's a bit more serious, but it's also really funny. It's kind of like that element of a Showtime show. Another show that's kind of along those lines is Nurse Jackie, which is also a Showtime show, and I think that one was really good. I watched that with my mom and my sister, and it's about a nurse who is addicted to drugs, and it's her family life balancing her work life, and just it is a bit of a hospital show, so there's like the hospital issues, like patients and stuff, but there's also mostly her personal life and her battle with addiction. And although it does definitely 100% have its serious elements where you want to cry, it also is super funny and has like really great characters that are super unique. It has Carlisle from Twilight in it, so there's another reason to watch. I really recommend it. That's the kind of show you could easily binge watch. Another one, which is a comedy, is Grounded for Life, and I don't think this has very many seasons, but I remember watching it when it was like live. It's about like an Irish family living in Long Island or something. It's like their whole family situation, and they have kids of all different ages. It's very much like a family sitcom, but it's a bit more like Roseanne-esque than like a Modern Family, if that makes sense. That is my second what to watch on Netflix video. This is kind of like the last TV show one I'll probably do, at least for years, because I just won't be watching that many. So if you just keep up on my channel, you'll see like what shows I mentioned in my favorites and things like that, and I'll let you know if they're on Netflix that way. I think that's all I have to say. Make sure to check out my last video, and all my other TV show movie videos will be linked in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know which show you're gonna start watching, if you're gonna watch one over break or whenever. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe to see more from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. My hair in my mouth and I've had for like 5 minutes. And this is a show.